ABC 10 News at 7 starts now.
We're getting a new look at what happened the day a man died in the custody of MTS security in downtown San Diego. Good evening, I'm Kimberly Hunt.
And I'm Steve Atkinson. Our Adam Rakusin reports the body cam footage is coming to light as MTS announces a $5.5 million settlement with the family. We do want to warn you, the video is disturbing.
The stationary camera and body-worn camera video from an MTS security officer is about 20 minutes long. The video, recorded back in 2019, starts with Angel Hernandez walking near the trolley tracks and then coming face-to-face with an MTS officer.
Get against the fence?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
No, that fence.
Oh, that fence?
Go stand over there for me, please.
He gives the MTS officer his ID, then explains what he was doing on the tracks.
What am I doing on the tracks? I was looking at my ID.
They talk for about 2 minutes, then Hernandez takes off running. The MTS officer and a transit security professional follow. They eventually catch up to Hernandez and handcuff him. The conversation goes on for a few more minutes, then you hear one of the security guards say,
"You're gonna get put on the ground if you don't stop."
Shortly after that, Hernandez is put in what they describe as a prone face-down position. He wouldn't get up again. Gene Iredale is the family's lawyer.
Angel Hernandez died as a result of positional asphyxia when he was held prone, face down, with pressure on his back, and regrettably, a knee on his neck.
The video shows both security personnel with their hands on Hernandez. You can see one of them has a knee pressing down on his back, another a knee on his neck.
Stop. Dude, stop. Please.
Iredale says Hernandez suffered from schizophrenia. He says he was struggling with mental illness in that moment. About 18 minutes into the video that was released, San Diego police officers arrive, and you can hear someone ask if Hernandez has a pulse.
Angel.
Hey,
You guys up?
I got his ID right here.
Wait, does he have a pulse?
He was held down with the knee on his neck for over 6 minutes.
On Monday, Hernandez's grandmother saw the recording for the first time.
After watching the video, I mean, it was hard. I feel that this never should have happened.
MTS and Transit System Security announced they'd agreed to pay $5.5 million to the family of Angel Hernandez. They also apologized and announced a series of system-wide policy changes, including banning the use of carotid restraints, chokeholds, and knee pressure on the neck, throat, or head.
I really hope that that MTS or the police can do a better job, when they restrain somebody and not do what they did to Angel.
Adam Rakusin, ABC 10 News.
The security guards are no longer working for those agencies. They are not sworn officers and were not charged with a crime. And in the interest of transparency, we have posted the full video on our website, 10news.com.
The FAA is investigating what caused a plane crash that killed a couple from Vista. 37-year-old Timothy Gill and 38-year-old Joylana Kamalu died over the weekend when their small plane went down in Williams, Arizona. The couple reportedly left from the Sedona airport and were headed to the Grand Canyon airport. The plane was found in a wooded area about 60 miles from where they took off. One person is dead after a crash on the 15 in Scripps Ranch. Just after 4 o'clock, the Jeep with 3 people inside veered off the road and slammed into a eucalyptus tree near Miramar Way. One of the people died at the scene. The other 2 were taken to the hospital. It's not clear why the Jeep went off the road. The accident caused 2 lanes and slowed traffic to a crawl.
San Diego Mayor Todd Gloria is unveiling details for his plan to combat homelessness in the city.
It invests $10 million in programs that reflect the city's shift at my direction toward a more compassionate, person-centered approach to addressing homelessness.
Gloria wants to spend the money on more shelters, job training, substance abuse programs, and other services. He believes that will help transition people to long-term housing. Critics call his plan a waste of money.
Hey, we're just going to give you a bunch of free stuff. But we're not requiring that you make any changes about your substance abuse, your mental health problems, your criminal activity. You can continue to do that.
Gloria presents his budget to the City Council coming up tomorrow. Meantime, nearly a week after the city crews dumped large rocks to try and prevent a homeless encampment in Oceanside, more tents are now popping back up. Our ABC 10 News reporter Rachel Bianco spoke with business owners in the area who say customers are afraid to come back.
This video shows two men tossing the large rocks dumped less than a week ago. Roughly 15 tents still line South Oceanside Boulevard. The owners of a nearby bridal shop say the illegal homeless encampment is driving customers away at a time when the pandemic already has them struggling.
You feel bad for them, very, very, very bad for them. But at the same time, you feel like we're trying to bring up our business and getting better, but with this situation, it's not.
Last Tuesday, Oceanside police cleared out the encampment. 28 people accepted 3-week motel vouchers. 10 more rooms are expected to be available today. City crews used heavy equipment to dump large rocks to try to prevent people from returning. Homeless advocates say this is the wrong approach.
People need services, they need help. Like, ultimately, it's help. Rocks don't help anything. It helps people not see it. It helps business, it helps tourism, but it doesn't help the individual that's on the street.
Councilman Chris Rodriguez says the city's program provides mental health and social services, not just a motel room.
We're trying to create relief to our communities and our businesses, and then compassion to the homeless population, but also accountability. We're using taxpayer dollars.
Business owners say the city needs a shelter.
You look at that in the morning and you look at that when you leave and you're scratching your head.
The city is accepting proposals from potential shelter operators and hopes to select one by June. Rachel Bianco, ABC 10 News.
Councilman Rodriguez says an increase in calls for overdoses, assaults, property damage, and fires led police to clear out the encampment.
Turning now to coronavirus, it's been a week since San Diego Unified resumed in-person learning. But as ABC 10 News anchor Lindsay Pena reports, some students are still learning over Zoom despite being on campus.
Last week, thousands of kids returned to San Diego Unified schools, either for 2 or 4 days a week, and with plenty of safety precautions, including proper distancing.
This is not school as usual. This is not school as it was February of 2020.
Keisha Borden is president of the Teachers Union. She says there simply isn't enough space in some classrooms to accommodate all the kids who wanted to come back, in particular at schools doing 4 days a week. The district's answer to the problem was to create what it's calling learning labs, where students are still distance learning, but from a room on campus.
We know that it's not ideal. But if they are going to be implemented, we want to make sure that they're done in the best way possible.
A district spokesperson told ABC 10 News via email that students will rotate in and out of the labs so as to make sure they can still connect in person with their teacher. As for staffing, the district says the labs will include a mix of general, special education teachers, and paraeducators. The union says they're keeping a close eye on the staffing to make sure it doesn't impact students.
We're concerned that perhaps our ed specialists who have caseloads of students with IEPs may be called to staff those overflow rooms instead of actually working with the students on their caseloads.
It's not clear how many learning labs there are or how many students are in them, but the district says they'll be used as necessary through the end of the school year. Borden says instead of the labs, students could move to a 2-day-a-week schedule, but that may not be ideal for families already eager to get back to truly full-time school. Lindsay Pena, ABC 10 News.
Right now, San Diego Unified is adhering to a standard of at least 5 feet between desks. State and federal guidelines only recommend at least 3 feet.
Some fans will be allowed when the best golfers in the world come to Torrey Pines for the U.S. Open in June. The USGA says fans from California must show proof of full vaccination or a negative COVID test to get on the course. Fans from out of state must be fully vaccinated to attend. USGA is going to refund all tickets already sold. Instead, they will start a new ticket sales process next week. Exactly how many fans will be allowed, that's yet to be determined. And the county reported 152 new cases today, while our test positivity rate remained low at 2%. There were no new deaths reported today. That is typical for a Monday, so that number stands at just under 3,700. Stay on top of any new developments with coronavirus by downloading the 10 News app. A free version is available in the App Store.
A Vietnam veteran is heartbroken after the Veterans Memorial Park in Vista was vandalized once again. Don Bartletti visits the park at least once a month, and last Wednesday he saw the faux rocks surrounding the memorial covered in paint and graffiti. Bartletti says this is the second time the area has been defaced.
It was a double insult where somebody would come and deface something that beautiful in my city. It hit me right in the heart.
Bartletti reported the graffiti to the city, but because the park is privately owned, the property owners have to handle the cleanup.